One of the most powerful secrets of attraction, which has the power to completely change your life forever, is the art of allowing. This great transformation doesn't involve running after what you want or using complex strategies, but is related to the person you become on the inside. For example, if your desire is to attract your dream job, the truth is that you need to become the person who naturally receives that job before it shows up in your life. Otherwise, you'll keep chasing one opportunity after another, thinking that the problem is you're not trying hard enough. Most people spend their entire lives chasing after what they want. They chase money, they chase love, they chase success, they chase happiness. But here's what nobody tells you. The very act of chasing is what keeps these things away from you. It's like trying to catch your own shadow. The harder you run after it, the faster it moves away from you. But the moment you stop running and turn around, there it is, right behind you. Think about everything you've been taught about getting what you want. Work harder, try more, push through, never give up. Chase your dreams. Go after what you want with everything you've got. But what if I told you that this advice, while well-meaning, is actually the reason why so many people struggle to get what they truly desire? The truth is that there's a completely different way to attract what you want into your life. A way that feels natural, effortless, and actually enjoyable. A way that doesn't require you to exhaust yourself or compete with others or force things to happen. This way is based on a simple understanding of how energy works in this universe. Everything in this universe is energy, including you and everything you want. And energy has certain laws that it follows. One of these laws is that like attracts like. This means that the energy you put out is the energy you get back. When you chase something, you're putting out the energy of not having it. You're literally telling the universe, I don't have this thing, and that's why I need to chase it. And the universe, being the perfect mirror that it is, responds by giving you more situations where you don't have what you want. There's a huge difference between the energy of someone who's chasing and the energy of someone who's attracting. Think about someone you know who seems to effortlessly attract good things into their life. Maybe they always seem to have money flowing to them, or people are naturally drawn to them, or opportunities just seem to fall into their lap. What is it about these people that makes them so magnetic? It's not that they're more deserving than you. It's not that they're luckier than you. It's not even that they're more talented or smart than you. The difference is in their energy. They carry themselves like someone who already has what they want. They don't chase because they don't feel like they're missing anything. They know that what belongs to them will come to them. And this knowing creates a magnetic energy that actually draws things to them. On the other hand, when you're in chasing mode, you carry the energy of lack. You feel incomplete without the thing you want. You feel like something is missing from your life. You feel like you're not enough until you get that thing. This feeling of not being enough creates an energy that actually pushes away what you want. The reason most people don't know this secret is because we live in a world that teaches us the opposite. From the time we're children, we're taught that if we want something, we need to go get it. We're taught that good things come to those who work hard for them. We're taught that we need to earn everything we receive. But here's what's interesting. The people who seem to attract the most abundance in their lives, whether it's money, love, success, or happiness, they're not the ones who are chasing the hardest. They're the ones who understand this secret of allowing. They've learned to become the kind of person who naturally receives what they want. This doesn't mean they don't take action. This doesn't mean they just sit around waiting for things to fall from the sky. What it means is that their actions come from a different place. Instead of taking action from desperation or fear or lack, they take action from inspiration and joy and knowing, and this makes all the difference in the world. So the first learning in this secret is, if you don't stop chasing, nothing will come to you easily. This is the basic truth of spiritual attraction. If you master this secret, everything you desire will flow to you naturally. However, this requires you to let go of control and trust the process. If you're really ready to stop struggling and start receiving, this video is for you. In this video, I'll also share with you a simple exercise that completely changed how I attract things into my life. Let me paint a picture of what life looks like when you don't understand this secret. You wake up every day feeling like you're behind in life. You look around and see other people who have what you want, and you wonder what's wrong with you. You try harder and harder to make things happen, but the harder you try, the more resistance you face. You apply for job after job, but you never hear back. You go on date after date, but you never meet the right person. You start business after business, but they never take off the way you hoped. You work longer hours, you read more books, you attend more seminars, but somehow you still feel like you're spinning your wheels. And the worst part is that you start to believe that maybe you're just not meant to have what you want. Maybe you're not good enough. Maybe you don't deserve it. Maybe some people are just luckier than others, and you're not one of the lucky ones. When you're always chasing, life becomes exhausting. You're constantly in a state of stress and anxiety because you're always worried about when you're going to get what you want. You can't relax and enjoy your life because you're always focused on what's missing. You become addicted to the chase itself. You think that if you just work a little harder, if you just try a little more, if you just push a little further, then you'll finally get what you want. But what happens is that you get caught in a cycle where you're always chasing and never catching. Even when you do get something you want, you can't fully enjoy it because you're already worried about the next thing you need to chase. You've trained your mind to always be focused on what you don't have instead of appreciating what you do have. Most of the time when we're chasing something, we're not really chasing the thing itself. We're running away from a fear. We're afraid that if we don't get this thing, we won't be happy. We're afraid that if we don't have this relationship, we'll be alone forever. We're afraid that if we don't make this much money, we'll never be secure. But here's the thing about fear. It's a terrible motivator for attraction. When you're motivated by fear, you're putting out the energy of fear, and fear attracts more things to be afraid of. When you're chasing something because you're afraid of not having it, you're actually creating more situations where you don't have it. Fear makes you desperate, and desperation is one of the most repelling energies there is. Think about it in your own life. When someone is desperate for your attention or approval, how does that make you feel? It makes you want to get away from them, right? It's the same with everything else in life. When you're desperate for money, money moves away from you. When you're desperate for love, love moves away from you. Let me tell you a story that will help you understand why chasing doesn't work. Imagine you're in a beautiful garden and you see the most gorgeous butterfly you've ever seen. Its wings are every color of the rainbow, and it's absolutely stunning. You decide you want to catch this butterfly, so you start chasing after it. But what happens? The butterfly flies away from you. The faster you run, the faster it flies. You might get close sometimes, but just when you think you can grab it, it flies away again. You exhaust yourself running around this garden, and you never catch the butterfly. But then you decide to try a different approach. You stop chasing. Instead, you sit down in the middle of the garden. You become very still and very peaceful. You start to appreciate the beauty around you, the flowers, the trees, the sunshine. You're no longer focused on catching the butterfly. You're just enjoying being in the garden. And then something magical happens. The butterfly starts to circle around you. It gets closer and closer, and eventually it lands right on your shoulder. Without any effort from you, without any chasing, the butterfly came to you. This is exactly how attraction works in every area of life. When you chase something, you create the energy of pursuit, which actually pushes things away from you. But when you become still and peaceful and focused on enjoying your life as it is, you create the energy of attraction, which draws things to you. Think about this in terms of relationships. We've all seen people who are desperate to find love. They go on dating app after dating app. They say yes to every person who asks them out. They compromise their values just to be in a relationship. They chase after people who aren't interested in them. But what usually happens? They either stay single or they end up in relationships that don't make them happy. But then there are people who seem to effortlessly attract amazing relationships. They're not on every dating app. They're not going out every night looking for love. Instead, they're focused on creating a life they love. They're working on becoming the best version of themselves. They're happy being single, and they're not willing to settle for just anyone. And because they're not chasing, because they're not desperate, they naturally attract people who are genuinely interested in them. The problem with chasing is that it comes from a place of desperation, and desperation is like a repelling force. When you're desperate for something, you're sending out the message that you don't have it, you don't deserve it, and you're incomplete without it. And since the universe always gives you more of what you're focused on, it gives you more situations where you feel desperate and incomplete. Let's talk about money as an example. When people are desperate for money, what do they usually do? They start chasing every opportunity they hear about. They jump from one get-rich-quick scheme to another. They work longer hours at jobs they hate. They stress and worry about money all the time. They think about money constantly, but they're thinking about not having enough of it. But here's what happens. When you're desperate for money, you make poor decisions. You're more likely to fall for scams. You're more likely to take jobs that underpay you because you think it's better than nothing. You're more likely to spend money you don't have because you're trying to make yourself feel better. You become so focused on the lack of money that you actually create more lack in your life. Another problem with chasing is that it's based on the illusion that you can control everything. When you're chasing something, you're trying to force it to happen in a specific way, at a specific time, through specific actions. But the truth is that there are infinite ways for something to come into your life, and most of them are ways you've never even thought of. When you're trying to control how something happens, you close yourself off to all the other ways it could happen. You become so focused on one path that you miss all the other opportunities that are right in front of you. Let's say you want to find your dream job. If you're in chasing mode, you might spend all your time applying to jobs online, sending out resume after resume, going to networking events you don't enjoy, and trying to impress people you don't really like. You have a very specific idea of how you need to find this job, and you're working hard to make it happen that way. But what if your dream job could come to you through a conversation with a stranger at a coffee shop? What if it could come through a friend of a friend who mentions that their company is looking for someone exactly like you? What if it could come through a business idea that pops into your head while you're taking a walk? When you're so focused on chasing in one direction, you miss all these other possibilities. Everything in this universe vibrates at a certain frequency, including your thoughts and emotions. When you're chasing something, you're vibrating at the frequency of lack. You're literally broadcasting to the universe, I don't have what I want, I don't have what I want, I don't have what I want. And here's the thing about the universe. It doesn't care whether you want something or don't want something. It just gives you more of whatever you're focused on. So when you're constantly focused on not having what you want, the universe gives you more situations where you don't have what you want. This is why people who are always worried about money tend to have money problems. This is why people who are always worried about their health tend to have health problems. This is why people who are always worried about their relationships tend to have relationship problems. They're not trying to create these problems, but their focus on the lack of what they want is actually creating more lack. One of the most confusing things about attraction is that sometimes the harder you try, the further away you get from what you want. This seems to go against everything we've been taught about effort and results. We've been told that if we just work hard enough, we can achieve anything. But when it comes to attraction, this isn't always true. The reason for this is that there's a difference between inspired action and desperate action. Inspired action comes from a place of joy and excitement and knowing. It feels good to take inspired action. It feels natural and effortless, even when it requires work. Desperate action comes from a place of fear and lack and need. It feels heavy and forced. It feels like you're pushing against something. And when you're taking desperate action, you're actually working against yourself. Think about a time when something wonderful came into your life unexpectedly. Maybe you met an amazing friend when you weren't looking for friends. Maybe you found money when you weren't worried about money. Maybe you discovered an opportunity when you were just enjoying your life. How did that feel? It probably felt easy and natural and joyful. Now think about a time when you really wanted something and you chased after it hard. How did that feel? It probably felt stressful and exhausting and frustrating. And even if you got what you wanted, it probably didn't feel as good as you thought it would. Everything in life is an energy exchange. When you're chasing something, you're trying to take energy from it. You're trying to get something from outside yourself to fill a void inside yourself. But this creates an imbalanced energy exchange. An imbalanced energy doesn't sustain itself. When you're attracting something, you're offering energy to it. You're coming from a place of fullness and abundance, and you're sharing that energy with the world. This creates a balanced energy exchange, and balanced energy naturally attracts more of itself. Let's think about this in terms of success. When people are chasing success, they're usually trying to get recognition, approval, money, or status from their success. They want their success to make them feel good about themselves. They want their success to prove that they're worthy and valuable. But when people are attracting success, they're focused on how they can serve others through their success. They're thinking about the value they can create, the problems they can solve, the joy they can bring to others. They're not trying to get something from their success. They're trying to give something through their success. And which approach do you think the universe responds to more favorably? Which approach do you think creates more sustainable and fulfilling success? Attraction works like a magnet. You don't see a magnet running around trying to find metal. It just is magnetic, and metal comes to it. Your job is not to chase what you want. Your job is to become magnetic to what you want. This happens when you change your inner state, not your outer actions. Let me explain how this works in a way that will change how you think about getting what you want forever. A magnet doesn't try to attract metal. A magnet doesn't stress about whether metal will come to it. A magnet doesn't worry about when the metal will arrive or how it will happen. A magnet simply is magnetic, and because of what it is, metal naturally moves toward it. What makes a magnet magnetic? It's not what the magnet does, it's what the magnet is. The molecules inside a magnet are all aligned in the same direction, creating a magnetic field. This field is invisible, but it's incredibly powerful. It can pull metal objects from a distance without the magnet having to move at all. You have the same kind of power inside you. You have an invisible field around you that's created by your thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and inner state. This field is constantly broadcasting to the universe, and the universe is constantly responding to what you're broadcasting. When your inner world is aligned with what you want, when your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are all pointing in the same direction, you become magnetic to that thing. You don't have to chase it because it starts moving toward you naturally. But when your inner world is scattered, when part of you wants something but another part of you doesn't believe you can have it, when you say you want one thing but your actions show you want something else, Your magnetic field becomes weak or conflicted, and nothing clear can come to you. Think about the most magnetic people you know. What is it about them that draws you to them? It's not that they're trying to get something from you. It's not that they need your approval or attention. It's that they seem complete within themselves. They seem to know who they are and what they're about. They seem comfortable in their own skin. These people aren't magnetic because they're perfect. They're magnetic because they're authentic. They're not trying to be someone else to get what they want. They're not pretending to be something they're not. They're simply being themselves, and that authenticity creates a powerful magnetic field. On the other hand, desperate people repel others because they're trying to get something from everyone they meet. They need constant validation. They need people to like them to feel good about themselves. They're always performing, always trying to impress, always working to get something from the outside world, to fill something that's missing inside. Here's one of the most important things you need to understand about attraction. You attract what you are, not what you want. If you're needy, you attract needy people and situations. If you're desperate, you attract desperate energy back to you. If you're coming from lack, you attract more lack. But if you're coming from abundance, you attract abundance. If you're coming from love, you attract love. If you're coming from joy, you attract more joy. This is why the most important work you can do is inner work, becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts what you want. Let me give you a simple example. Have you ever noticed that when you're in a happy relationship, other people seem more attracted to you? When you're not looking for love because you already have it, you suddenly become more magnetic to others. But when you're single and desperately looking for someone, you seem to repel potential partners. This isn't a coincidence. When you already have love in your life, you're vibrating at the frequency of love. You're not needy or desperate. You're not trying to get love from others because you already feel loved. This makes you magnetic to more love. There are invisible laws that govern how attraction works, just like there are invisible laws that govern how gravity works. You can't see gravity, but you know it's real because you can see its effects. You can't see the laws of attraction, but you can see their effects in your life and in the lives of others. One of these laws is that like attracts like. This means that whatever energy you're putting out is the energy you'll get back. If you're putting out the energy of gratitude, you'll attract more things to be grateful for. If you're putting out the energy of worry, you'll attract more things to worry about. Another law is that what you focus on expands. Whatever you give your attention to grows bigger in your life. If you focus on problems, you'll see more problems. If you focus on opportunities, you'll see more opportunities. If you focus on what's wrong with your life, you'll find more things that are wrong. If you focus on what's good in your life, you'll find more things that are good. Your outer world is like a mirror that reflects your inner world. If you want to change what you see in the mirror, you don't try to change the reflection, you change what you're showing to the mirror. If you want to see yourself smiling in a mirror, you have to smile first. The mirror can't smile at you before you smile at it. This is exactly how your life works. If you want to see abundance in your outer world, you have to feel abundant in your inner world first. If you want to see love in your outer world, you have to feel loving in your inner world first. If you want to see success in your outer world, you have to feel successful in your inner world first. Most people have this backwards. They think they'll feel abundant when they have more money. They think they'll feel loving when someone loves them. They think they'll feel successful when they achieve their goals. But this is like trying to get the mirror to smile at you before you smile at it. It just doesn't work that way. Everything in the universe vibrates at a specific frequency, including your thoughts and emotions. Joy vibrates at a different frequency than sadness. Love vibrates at a different frequency than fear. Abundance vibrates at a different frequency than lack. Whatever frequency you're vibrating at, you attract things that vibrate at the same frequency. This is why when you're in a good mood, good things seem to happen to you. And when you're in a bad mood, everything seems to go wrong. The key to attracting what you want is to vibrate at the same frequency as the thing you want. If you want more money, you need to vibrate at the frequency of abundance. If you want a loving relationship, you need to vibrate at the frequency of love. If you want success, you need to vibrate at the frequency of success. But here's the thing, you can choose your frequency. You can decide how you want to feel. You can decide what energy you want to put out into the world. You're not a victim of your circumstances, you're the creator of them. The first key is to start being the person who already has what you want. If you want love, be loving. If you want money, feel abundant. If you want respect, respect yourself. Ask yourself, how does the person who has my dream life think? How do they feel? How do they act? Then start being that person today, even before anything shows up. Most people try to get what they want by doing different things. They think if they just take the right actions, they'll get the right results. But the truth is that your actions flow from your identity. Who you believe you are determines what you do, and what you do determines what you have. If you want to change what you have, you need to change what you do. But if you want to change what you do, you need to change who you are. This is why identity work is the most powerful work you can do. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to lose weight. Most people focus on changing their actions. They go on diets, they join gyms, they count calories. But they still think of themselves as someone who struggles with weight. Their identity is, I'm someone who can't lose weight, or I'm someone who has no willpower, or I'm someone with bad genetics. But what if instead of trying to change your actions, you changed your identity? What if you started thinking of yourself as a healthy person? What if you started asking yourself, what would a healthy person do in this situation? What if you started making decisions from the identity of someone who naturally maintains a healthy weight? When you shift your identity, your actions automatically shift. You don't have to force yourself to eat healthy. Healthy people naturally choose healthy foods. You don't have to force yourself to exercise. Healthy people naturally enjoy moving their bodies. The actions become effortless because they're flowing from who you are, not from who you're trying to become. Let's talk about money, since this is something most people struggle with. If you want to attract more money into your life, you need to start thinking like someone who already has money. You need to develop what people call a millionaire mindset. But what does this really mean? It doesn't mean pretending you have money you don't have. It doesn't mean spending money you can't afford. It means thinking about money the way wealthy people think about money. Wealthy people don't worry about money all the time. They don't stress about every purchase. They don't feel guilty about spending money on things they enjoy. They don't think of money as scarce or hard to get. They think of money as a tool, as energy, as something that flows to them naturally. Wealthy people also think differently about value. They focus on creating value for others, not on getting money for themselves. They think about how they can solve problems, how they can serve people, how they can make the world a better place. They know that money is just a byproduct of the value they create. So if you want to attract more money, start thinking this way. Start focusing on the value you can create instead of the money you can get. Start believing that money flows to you easily instead of believing that money is hard to come by. Start feeling grateful for the money you have instead of focusing on the money you don't have. If you want to attract love into your life, you need to become the kind of person who naturally attracts love. But most people have this backwards. They think they need someone else to love them before they can feel lovable. They think they need to find the right person before they can feel complete. But the truth is that love attracts love. If you want to attract a loving partner, you need to be loving. If you want to attract someone who treats you well, you need to treat yourself well. If you want to attract someone who appreciates you, you need to appreciate yourself. This doesn't mean you need to be perfect. This doesn't mean you need to have all your issues figured out before you can find love. What it means is that you need to come from a place of wholeness instead of a place of neediness. When you're complete within yourself, when you love your own company, when you have a life that you enjoy even when you're single, you become magnetic to others. People are drawn to people who are happy and fulfilled. People want to be around people who add value to their lives, not people who need them to complete their lives. If you want to attract success into your life, you need to start feeling successful right now. But most people wait to feel successful until after they achieve their goals. They think success is a destination, not a way of being. But successful people don't feel successful because they're successful. They're successful because they feel successful. They carry themselves with confidence. They believe in their abilities. They expect good things to happen to them. They see opportunities where others see problems. How can you start feeling successful right now? Start celebrating your small wins. Start acknowledging your progress, even if it's not as fast as you'd like. Start focusing on what you've already accomplished instead of only focusing on what you haven't accomplished yet. Start making decisions from the place of someone who is already successful. How would a successful person handle this situation? How would a successful person spend their time? How would a successful person treat others? How would a successful person treat themselves? This isn't something you do once and forget about. This is a daily practice. Every day, you need to consciously choose to be the person who already has what you want. Every day, you need to check in with yourself and ask, am I being the person who attracts what I want, or am I being the person who pushes it away? When you wake up in the morning, before you check your phone or start thinking about all the things you need to do, take a moment to connect with the version of yourself who already has what you want. How does this person feel? How do they start their day? What kind of energy do they carry with them? Throughout the day, when you're making decisions, ask yourself, what would the person who already has what I want do in this situation? Let this future version of yourself guide your choices. Before you go to sleep at night, spend a few minutes appreciating yourself for all the ways you showed up as this person today. Even if you weren't perfect, even if you had moments where you slipped back into old patterns, acknowledge the progress you made. The second key is letting go of the how and when. Most people block their desires because they're trying to control exactly how things should happen. But the universe is much smarter than us. Your job is to be clear about what you want, then trust that it will come in the best way possible. This doesn't mean doing nothing. It means taking inspired action, not desperate action. One of the biggest blocks to attraction is the need to control everything. We want to know exactly how our desires will manifest. We want to know when they'll show up. We want to know what steps we need to take to make them happen. We want guarantees and timelines and detailed plans. But here's the truth. You can't control how or when your desires will manifest. You can't force the universe to work according to your timeline. You can't make things happen through sheer willpower. The harder you try to control the process, the more you interfere with it. Think about it this way. Imagine you plant a seed in the ground. You water it, you give it sunlight, you take care of it. But you can't force it to grow faster than it's meant to grow. You can't dig it up every day to check on its progress. You can't demand that it become a flower tomorrow just because you want it to. If you try to force the process, you'll actually hurt the plant. The best thing you can do is create the right conditions for growth and then trust that nature will do its work. The seed has intelligence inside it. It knows how to become what it's meant to become. Your job is to support the process, not control it. The universe has an intelligence that's far beyond anything we can comprehend. It can see connections and possibilities that we can't even imagine. It knows the perfect timing for everything. It knows the best way for your desires to manifest that will serve your highest good. When you try to control how your desires will manifest, you're essentially telling the universe, "I know better than you do." You're limiting the infinite possibilities to only the few that you can think of. You're cutting yourself off from all the amazing ways that your desires could come to you. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to find your soulmate. If you're trying to control the process, you might decide that you need to meet them on a dating app. So you spend hours every day swiping through profiles, going on dates with people you're not really interested in, and getting frustrated when you don't find the one. But what if your soulmate is meant to come into your life in a completely different way? What if you're meant to meet them at a bookstore while you're browsing for a book on a topic you're passionate about? What if you're meant to meet them while you're volunteering for a cause you care about? What if you're meant to meet them through a friend who introduces you at a party you almost didn't go to? When you're so focused on one specific way of meeting someone, you miss all these other possibilities. You might walk right past your soulmate because you're too busy looking at your phone, checking your dating apps. Releasing control doesn't mean doing nothing. It means learning the difference between inspired action and desperate action. Inspired action feels good. It feels natural and exciting. It feels like something you want to do, not something you have to do. Desperate action feels forced. It feels heavy and stressful. It feels like something you're making yourself do because you think you should, not because you want to. When you're taking inspired action, you're in flow. Time seems to go by quickly. You have energy and enthusiasm. You feel like you're being guided toward your desires. Even when the action requires effort, it doesn't feel like struggle. When you're taking desperate action, you're swimming upstream. Everything feels hard. You feel like you're pushing against resistance. You feel drained and exhausted. You feel like you're working against the universe instead of with it. Everything happens at the perfect time, even when it doesn't seem like it to us. Sometimes what we want is delayed because we're not ready for it yet. Sometimes it's delayed because something even better is on its way. Sometimes it's delayed because we need to learn something or grow in some way before we can handle what we want. I know this can be frustrating, especially when you've been wanting something for a long time. But think about your own life. Can you think of times when something you wanted didn't happen when you wanted it to, but looking back, you can see that the timing was actually perfect? Maybe you didn't get a job you really wanted, but then you got an even better job later. Maybe a relationship ended when you didn't want it to, but then you met someone who was much better for you. The universe has a perfect timing for everything. Your job is not to figure out what that timing is. Your job is to trust that whatever is happening for your highest good, even when you can't see how. Releasing control doesn't mean giving up on your dreams. It doesn't mean becoming passive or lazy. It means surrendering the need to make things happen in a specific way and instead allowing them to happen in the best way. Surrender is an active process. It's a daily choice to trust that the universe is working on your behalf. It's a daily choice to focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and let go of what you can't control, how and when your desires will manifest. Think of surrender like this. You're the captain of a sailboat, and your desires are your destination. You can't control the wind or the weather or the currents, but you can set your sail in the right direction. You can adjust your course when you need to. You can trust that if you keep sailing in the right direction, you'll eventually reach your destination. Sometimes the wind will be strong and you'll move quickly toward your destination. Sometimes the wind will be calm and you'll move slowly. Sometimes you might hit a storm and feel like you're moving backward. But if you keep your sails set in the right direction and trust the process, you'll get where you're going. There's incredible power in letting go. When you stop trying to force things to happen, you create space for them to happen naturally. When you stop gripping so tightly to your desires, you allow them to flow to you more easily. Think about holding sand in your hand. If you squeeze your fist tightly, trying to hold on to every grain, most of the sand will slip through your fingers. But if you hold your hand open, relaxed, the sand will stay in your palm. This is how it works with your desires. The tighter you grip them, the more they slip away from you. But when you hold them lightly, when you're open and relaxed about them, they can rest comfortably in your life. Letting go also frees up your energy. When you're constantly trying to control everything, you're using a lot of mental and emotional energy. You're stressed and anxious and worried all the time. But when you let go, that energy becomes available for other things. You can use it to enjoy your life, to be creative, to be present with the people you love. Trust is the foundation of letting go. You have to trust that the universe wants good things for you. You have to trust that your desires are on their way to you. You have to trust that everything is working out for your highest good, even when you can't see how. This kind of trust is built over time. Every time you let go and things work out, your trust grows stronger. Every time you try to control everything and it doesn't work, you learn to trust more. Every time you look back and see how perfectly things unfolded, even when they didn't unfold the way you expected, your trust deepens. Start small. Practice letting go in small areas of your life. Let go of needing to control what other people think of you. Let go of needing to control every detail of your day. Let go of needing to control how long it takes to get somewhere in traffic. Notice how it feels when you let go. Notice how much more peaceful you feel. Notice how much more present you become. Notice how things actually seem to work out better when you're not trying to control them. As you build this muscle of letting go in small areas, you'll find it easier to let go in bigger areas. You'll find it easier to trust that your bigger desires are also unfolding perfectly, even when you can't see the bigger picture. The third key is to feel good right now, not when you get what you want. The universe responds to your feelings, not your words. If you're unhappy now and waiting for something to make you happy, you're sending out the energy of lack. Instead, find ways to feel joy, peace, and gratitude today. When you feel good now, you attract more things that make you feel good. Here's something that will completely change how you approach attraction. The universe doesn't respond to what you say you want. It doesn't respond to your goals or your vision boards or your affirmations. The universe responds to how you feel. Your feelings are like a radio signal that you're constantly broadcasting, and the universe is always tuning into that signal and giving you more of whatever you're feeling. If you feel abundant, you attract abundance. If you feel grateful, you attract more things to be grateful for. If you feel joyful, you attract more joy. But if you feel lacking, you attract more lack. If you feel frustrated, you attract more frustration. If you feel worried, you attract more things to worry about. This is why so many people struggle with attraction. They say they want one thing, but they feel another. They say they want money, but they feel poor. They say they want love, but they feel lonely. They say they want success, but they feel like failures. And the universe responds to what they're feeling, not what they're saying. Most people have their happiness backwards. They think they'll be happy when they get what they want. They think they'll feel abundant when they have more money. They think they'll feel loved when they find the right person. They think they'll feel successful when they achieve their goals. But this creates what I call the happiness trap. You're essentially telling the universe, I'm not happy now, but I will be happy when I get this thing. And the universe hears, I'm not happy now, and gives you more reasons to not be happy now. The truth is that happiness is not a destination, it's a way of traveling. Joy is not something you find at the end of your journey. It's something you bring with you on the journey. You don't have to wait until you get what you want to feel good. You can feel good right now, and that good feeling will attract more good things into your life. When you feel good in the present moment, you're sending a powerful message to the universe. You're saying, I'm already abundant, I'm already blessed, I'm already living a beautiful life. And the universe responds by giving you more abundance, more blessings, and more beauty. But how do you feel good when your life isn't perfect yet? How do you feel abundant when you don't have everything you want? How do you feel grateful when there are things you're struggling with? The secret is to focus on what's already good in your life right now. No matter what your situation is, there are things to appreciate. Maybe you don't have the perfect job yet, but you have a roof over your head. Maybe you don't have your ideal relationship yet, but you have friends who care about you. Maybe you don't have all the money you want yet, but you have enough to buy food and water. When you start looking for things to appreciate, you'll be amazed at how many you can find. And the more you appreciate what you have, the more you'll have to appreciate. Gratitude is one of the most powerful emotions for attraction. When you're truly grateful for what you have, you're vibrating at a very high frequency. You're telling the universe, I love receiving good things. And the universe responds by giving you more good things to receive. But gratitude has to be genuine. You can't just say you're grateful because you think you should be. You have to actually feel it. You have to let the feeling of appreciation fill your heart and your body. Start small. Every morning when you wake up, before you get out of bed, think of 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be big things. Maybe you're grateful for your comfortable bed. Maybe you're grateful for the sunlight coming through your window. Maybe you're grateful for the fact that you woke up healthy. Throughout the day, whenever you notice something beautiful or good or helpful, take a moment to really appreciate it. When you taste something delicious, really savor it and feel grateful for it. When someone is kind to you, really feel appreciative of their kindness. When you see something beautiful in nature, let yourself feel amazed and thankful. Before you go to sleep at night, think of 3 good things that happened during your day. Even if your day was difficult, there were probably at least 3 small good things. Maybe someone smiled at you. Maybe you heard a song you loved. Maybe you accomplished something, even if it was small. Joy is your natural state. Children are naturally joyful. They don't need a reason to be happy. They can find joy in the simplest things: a butterfly, a puddle, a cardboard box. But as we grow up, we're taught that we need reasons to be happy. We're taught that joy is something we have to earn or achieve. But what if you could return to that natural state of joy? What if you could find happiness in simple things again? What if you could feel good just because you're alive, just because you're here, just because you have this amazing opportunity to experience life? Start paying attention to the small moments of beauty and wonder in your daily life. The way the light looks at sunset, the sound of rain on your window, the taste of your morning coffee, the feeling of warm water in the shower, the smile of a stranger, the laughter of children playing. These moments are always available to you. They don't cost anything. They don't require you to achieve anything or become anyone different. They're just here, waiting for you to notice them and appreciate them. Underneath all your desires is a deeper desire for peace. You want money because you think it will give you peace of mind. You want love because you think it will give you emotional peace. You want success because you think it will give you a sense of inner peace. But what if you could find that peace right now without needing anything to change? What if you could feel calm and centered and at ease with life, even while you're working toward your goals? Peace is always available to you in the present moment. It's not dependent on your circumstances. It's not dependent on getting what you want. It's a choice you can make in any moment. When you feel peaceful, you make better decisions. You see opportunities more clearly. You attract solutions instead of problems. You move through life with more grace and ease. Peace is not only pleasant to feel, it's also practical for creating the life you want. When you appreciate what you already have, you create space for more good things to come into your life. Appreciation is like saying to the universe, "Yes, more of this, please." It's like placing an order for more of whatever you're appreciating. But when you focus on what you don't have, when you complain about what's wrong with your life, you're essentially placing an order for more of those things too. You're saying, yes, more problems, please. More lack, please. More things to complain about, please. This doesn't mean you should ignore problems or pretend everything is perfect when it's not. It means you should put more energy into appreciating what's good than into complaining about what's bad. It means you should spend more time thinking about what you want than thinking about what you don't want. The fourth key is understanding that everything comes at the perfect time. Sometimes what you want is delayed because you're not ready yet, or because something even better is coming. Instead of getting frustrated with delays, use that time to become more of who you need to be. Trust that if you're doing the inner work, the outer results will follow. One of the hardest things about attraction is waiting. We live in a world where we're used to getting things instantly. We can order food and have it delivered in minutes. We can watch any movie we want immediately. We can communicate with people on the other side of the world in real time. So when we want something in our lives and it doesn't show up right away, we get impatient. But the universe doesn't work on our timeline. The universe has its own perfect timing for everything. And this timing is always in your best interest, even when it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes what you want is delayed because you're not ready for it yet. Maybe you want a relationship, but you're still healing from past hurts. Maybe you want a business to succeed, but you still need to develop certain skills. Maybe you want more money, but you still need to learn how to manage what you have. The universe isn't withholding your desires from you, it's preparing you for them. It's making sure that when you do get what you want, you'll be able to handle it, appreciate it, and keep it. Think of the time before your desires manifest as a preparation period. This is when you're becoming the person who can attract and maintain what you want. This is when you're developing the skills, the mindset, the emotional capacity, and the spiritual maturity you'll need. If you got everything you wanted right now, without any preparation, would you be able to handle it? If you suddenly became wealthy, but you didn't know how to manage money, you might lose it all. If you suddenly found your soulmate, but you didn't know how to have a healthy relationship, it might not last. If you suddenly became famous, but you didn't have strong self-worth, it might destroy you. The preparation period is a gift. It's your opportunity to grow into the person who naturally attracts what you want. It's your chance to build the foundation that will support your dreams when they manifest. Every delay is an opportunity for growth. Every challenge is a chance to become stronger. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. When things don't happen as quickly as you'd like, instead of getting frustrated, ask yourself, what is this situation trying to teach me? How is this helping me grow? What qualities do I need to develop? Maybe you're learning patience. Maybe you're learning to trust. Maybe you're learning to value yourself more. Maybe you're learning to be more grateful for what you have. Maybe you're learning to find happiness within yourself instead of looking for it outside yourself. Whatever you're learning, trust that it's exactly what you need to learn. Trust that you're being prepared for something wonderful. Trust that all this growth and preparation will make your eventual success even sweeter. Sometimes what you want is delayed because the universe has something even better in store for you. Sometimes you don't get what you think you want because what you actually need is something different. Maybe you applied for a job and didn't get it, but then a better opportunity came along. Maybe a relationship ended when you didn't want it to, but then you met someone who was perfect for you. Maybe a business deal fell through, but then you discovered an even better opportunity. The universe can see the bigger picture in a way that you can't. It knows what will truly make you happy. It knows what will serve your highest good. Sometimes it has to close one door so it can open a better door for you. Learning to trust divine timing is like building a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it gets. Every time you trust the process and things work out, your trust grows. Every time you look back and see how perfectly everything unfolded, even when it didn't unfold the way you expected, your faith deepens. Start building your trust muscle by looking at your past. Can you think of times when something didn't happen when you wanted it to, but it worked out for the best? Can you think of times when you were disappointed about something, but later you were grateful it happened that way? When you can see the wisdom of divine timing in your past, it becomes easier to trust it in your present. When you can see how the universe has always been working on your behalf, it becomes easier to believe that it's still working on your behalf now. Patience is not passive waiting. Patience is active trust. It's continuing to believe in your dreams even when you can't see them manifesting yet. It's continuing to take inspired action even when the results aren't showing up as fast as you'd like. It's continuing to feel good even when your outer circumstances haven't changed yet. Impatience comes from fear. When you're impatient, you're afraid that what you want will never come. You're afraid that you're not good enough or deserving enough to have it. You're afraid that other people will get what you want, but you won't. But patience comes from trust. When you're patient, you know that what's meant for you will come to you. You know that you don't have to rush or force or compete. You know that there's enough good for everyone, including you. Here's the exercise I promised you. Every morning, spend 5 minutes visualizing yourself already having what you want. Feel how grateful and happy you are. Then throughout the day, whenever you catch yourself chasing or worrying, stop and ask, how would I feel if I already had this? Then choose to feel that way now. This trains your energy to match what you want. Start your day by connecting with the feeling of already having what you want. When you first wake up, before you check your phone or start thinking about your to-do list, take 5 minutes to visualize your ideal life. Don't just picture what it looks like. Feel what it feels like. If you want more money, feel abundant and grateful for all the money flowing into your life. If you want love, feel loved and cherished and appreciated. If you want success, feel proud and fulfilled and accomplished. Make this visualization as real and vivid as possible. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? What do you see around you? What sounds do you hear? What does the air feel like on your skin? The more senses you can involve, the more real it will feel. But most importantly, focus on the feeling. How does it feel to have everything you want? How does it feel to be living your dream life? Let that feeling fill your entire body. Let it overflow from your heart. Let it become your dominant emotion as you start your day. Throughout the day, pay attention to your energy. Notice when you slip into chasing mode. Notice when you start feeling anxious or desperate or frustrated about your desires. Notice when you start focusing on what you don't have instead of what you do have. When you catch yourself in these lower frequency emotions, pause and ask yourself, how would I feel if I already had what I want? Then consciously choose to shift into that feeling. This is not about pretending or lying to yourself. This is about aligning your energy with your desires. This is about training yourself to vibrate at the frequency of what you want to attract. At first, this might feel forced or unnatural, but the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, feeling abundant and loved and successful becomes your default state, not something you have to work to achieve. Before you go to sleep, spend a few minutes reflecting on your day. Look for evidence that your desires are on their way to you. Look for signs that the universe is responding to your new energy. Maybe someone complimented you in a way that made you feel appreciated. Maybe you found money you didn't expect. Maybe an opportunity presented itself. Maybe you felt more confident than usual. Maybe you noticed something beautiful that made you feel grateful. These might seem like small things, but they're actually evidence that your energy is shifting and the universe is responding. The more you notice these small signs, the more they'll grow into bigger manifestations. Also reflect on how well you maintained your new energy throughout the day. Don't judge yourself if you had moments where you slipped back into old patterns. Just notice where you did well and where you can improve tomorrow. Think of this practice as energy training. Just like you would go to the gym to train your muscles, you're training your energetic muscles. You're training yourself to maintain the frequency of what you want to attract. At first, it might be hard to stay in this high-frequency state for very long. You might slip back into worry or frustration quickly, but the more you practice, the longer you'll be able to maintain these positive feelings. Eventually, they'll become your natural state. This is the most important work you can do. Everything else, your actions, your strategies, your plans, flows from your energy. When your energy is aligned with what you want, the right actions become obvious. The right opportunities appear. The right people show up in your life. When you stop chasing and start attracting, your whole life changes. You become like a magnet that naturally draws in what belongs to you. I've seen this work in my own life and in the lives of countless others. The secret isn't working harder. It's becoming the person who naturally receives what they desire. When you truly understand and apply these principles, everything about your life experience changes. You stop feeling like you're fighting against the world and start feeling like the world is working with you. You stop feeling like you have to earn everything you receive and start feeling like good things naturally flow to you. You wake up each morning with excitement instead of anxiety. You move through your day with confidence instead of desperation. You go to sleep each night with gratitude instead of worry. You become someone who expects good things to happen, and because you expect them, they do. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a process of gradually shifting your energy, your beliefs, your identity, and your way of being in the world. But every small shift you make compounds over time. Every day you practice these principles, you become more magnetic to what you desire. When you become someone who attracts rather than chases, it doesn't just affect your own life. It affects everyone around you. People are drawn to your energy. They want to know what you're doing differently. They want to learn your secret. You become an inspiration to others who are struggling to get what they want. You show them that there's a better way. You demonstrate that it's possible to live from abundance instead of lack, from trust instead of fear, from joy instead of desperation. Your transformation gives others permission to transform too. Your success shows them that they can succeed too. Your peace helps them find their peace. Your joy reminds them of their own capacity for joy. Remember the butterfly story from earlier? You've learned that when you stop chasing the butterfly and instead become still and peaceful and appreciative of the garden around you, the butterfly naturally comes to you. This is how all of life works. When you stop chasing love and instead become loving, love comes to you. When you stop chasing money and instead become abundant in your thinking, money comes to you. When you stop chasing success and instead become successful in your mindset, success comes to you. You don't chase butterflies, you become the garden where they want to land. You don't chase your dreams, you become the person who naturally attracts them. You don't chase your desires, you become the energy that magnetizes them to you. The final truth is this: everything you want already wants you too. Your desires exist because they're meant for you. The universe planted these dreams in your heart because it wants to fulfill them through you. Your job is not to chase them or force them or earn them. Your job is to become the person who naturally receives them. You are not separate from what you want. You are connected to it by invisible threads of energy and love and divine purpose. When you align yourself with who you're meant to be, what you're meant to have aligns itself with you. This is the secret to attracting what you want without chasing it. This is the art of allowing. This is the way of the magnet. And now you know how to live this way. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Trust that everything you desire is already on its way to you. You don't have to chase it anymore. You just have to become ready to receive it. If this message has touched your heart and opened your mind to a new way of living, please share it with others who need to hear it. Like this video if it has helped you understand something important about attraction. Subscribe for more wisdom about creating the life of your dreams. Most importantly, leave a comment below and share your own experiences with attraction. Tell us about a time when something came to you when you stopped chasing it. Tell us about how you're going to apply these principles in your own life. Your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Remember, you are not here to chase your dreams. You are here to live them. You are not here to pursue your purpose. You are here to embody it. You are not here to seek your happiness. You are here to be it. The butterfly is already on its way to your garden. All you have to do is tend to the flowers.